Gifts for Dad. That's right, Father's Day. This weekend. I don't think I can read the sale ad and drive, even though I'm on a back road. I'm not nowhere populated and they're all crazy. So don't give me crap. I'm not texting and driving, I'm reading and driving. I don't text. I'm not two. I'm that old guy that you get frustrated with. It's sitting somewhere distracted doing something. Not the 16-year-old girl that's on Facebook or texting, but the old guy reading. Uh-oh. What do we have here? Looks like Academy's got a cheap mountain bike. Men's Ozone 500 Fragment, 29-inch, 21-speed mountain bike for $199.99. So under $200, a mountain bike that has dual disc. This is a 29er, and we don't have one yet. I'm gonna start trying to figure out if any academies have this, and then Jeremiah's gonna freak out, I'm sure. Oh my God! See, we're so well connected. He's calling right now. That was not editing. Hello? What's going on? I was just talking to the camera. It's funny you called right now. Just said Jeremiah's gonna freak out because I found our next project. I'll come swimming up and come up and open the cam while you're doing it.
Alright.
Alright, go ahead. I like that you get a little punchy.
Yeah, well, it's just like, you're trying to...
Yeah, you get a little punchy.
Just do your thing.
I'm telling you to do your thing.
Damn. I tell you, man. Before we get started today on the unboxing of the new budget bike, I just wanted to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day from Wolftick Videos. So make sure you guys have a good, safe weekend. And make it one to remember, Anyway, we are going to get started on this bike that my dad surprised me with. He says that was a pretty good deal from Academy for $199. $199 on the bike.
$199.
And it's an Ozone Fragment, I believe it is.
500.
It's a 500. It's a 29-inch frame, 29-inch wheels, not a frame, 29-inch wheels. And I've never ridden a 29 before.
That'd be a big frame.
It's going to be a pretty good size. I'm not sure on the frame, but the wheel size is 29. I've never ridden a 29 before, but I can only imagine. After we get done doing the unboxing, we're going to break it open. So, I wasn't telling
Excuse
you.
me.
I wasn't telling you to break it open.
Oh, I heard break it open, and I had to open it up.
It's official.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this unboxing. I don't know anything about the bike, For $200, do I expect it to be the next greatest thing? No, it's a budget bike. It's going to be fun to unbox this bike and take it out on the trails. So definitely we'll be doing a review on it. We'll probably take it out to those CC trails. I kind of have to look at it first.
Okay.
If it looks like it's something that might hold up on the Cat's Meow,
then you'll send it.
We might end up just sending this bike, but
you might end up in the hospital.
Might end up in the hospital. It might be the bike that's just great for upgrades as well, And maybe with this bike we'll get a full weight and everything when we're inside the shop, and maybe we will get maybe we'll get some upgrades in the future to lighten this bike up. But one of the good things about this bike is it does have front and back disc brakes. I'm surprised at that. When I seen the picture, I just knew when he was talking about it for $199 from Academy that was going to have the back V brakes, but it doesn't. It's got both front and back disc brakes. I'm sure they're mechanical. Probably 160 if I'm guessing.
What do you hate worse, V brakes or twist shifters?
Ooh, probably V brakes.
And that's weird because the Nishiki ones though they weren't great. Like they stopped me and I'm
You
huge.
put a lot of friction on them though. When I start squeezing, they start squealing. When you just stop. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. That is the unboxing and putting together of the Ozone Fragment. We'll definitely talk about it in the shop. It does have a kickstand. We're gonna talk about it in the shop, and then first thing we're gonna do though is we're gonna weigh it in the shop. So let's go to the shop. So kickstand and all, what do you guys think? Aluminum frame, aluminum wheels. I think everything else is steel on it. I think the post for the seat is actually aluminum. I haven't got a magnet on this guy yet. We even have metal pedals, so think about that. What do you guys think it's going to weigh? Let's go ahead and look at it. 37.36. Ouch. I'll be honest with you guys, I thought this thing was going to weigh a lot less. I thought it was going to be around 34, 35. I didn't think it was going to be close to 40 pounds. But that kind of gives me some ideas. I don't know, we might talk about through the video on some possible upgrades, maybe to lighten this guy up. Remember that in Shiki we lightened him up by 2.5 pounds, and that was just a whole crank set. So that might be something that we might be looking at on this bike as well. Maybe a whole new front end redo, maybe the whole crank set, a 1x. I really like doing the 1x conversions. But let's go ahead and put this guy in a stand, and we'll talk about a little bit what it comes with. Now, I don't know what kind of terrain this thing is ready for. The handlebars, one thing that really bothers me about the handlebars, earlier we were talking about if I was going to take it out on the Cat's Meow Trail, or if we were going to take on the OCC trails, which is like a beginner to easy, minimal climbing, no jumps, anything like that. And I think this is leaning more towards the OCC trails. And the reason why, on our little test track there, the reason why is the handlebars. Let's look at that area. There's a really, really big rise on the handlebars. It's like you need a basket or something up there, or a horn. It's crazy. It looks like like it should be handlebars on a trike or something. It's like big old 8 hangers. These guys are right at 24 inches wide on the handlebars with the grips on, and that's not very wide at all. That's actually very narrow. I will put that into millimeters up on the screen. Let's go and talk about the stem. The stem is a 2-bolt stem similar to the other budget bikes that we usually review here. And on the, which again, I think it's a preference thing, but it doesn't really look good on this bike at all. The stem is very short, maybe 60 to 70 millimeters. And it doesn't really have that much of a rise. I guess they saved all that rise for the handlebars and took away from the overall width, which I don't like the whole look of it up front. But let's go ahead and move on to the forks. Now the forks are suspension shock system forks. Of course, budget forks. They are metal coil, I'm sure. And the amount of travel on here is probably, I don't know, 50 to 60 at best. The tires seem like they have a good amount of meat on them, and they're actually 2.3 inches wide. I was not expecting that. I was thinking maybe 2.1s at the most, but so I am shocked with that. I love the style of rim. Like I said earlier, it kind of looks like it's a tubeless rim, and I know most big box stores are going for that look, but they've kind of nailed it on this bike. I really like the look. I do think that the Ozone 500 stickers around the rims will have to go eventually. I'd like to see what it looks like without those. I think it'd make it look like the tires are a little bit more meatier. When it comes to the disc brakes, they're very similar to the men's Velocity brakes. And what I mean by that, if you guys haven't seen that video, is there's no spot for you to put a cotter pin all the way through to make sure that your brake pads stay in place. So if you're to take your wheels off, and they are not quick release, they're 15mm nuts that hold these on. If you are to take your wheels off, most likely it looks to me like your brake pads will fall out, because really there's just a piece of metal tensioner that's keeping them there. I haven't really gotten to ride it too much, but from the deck to the shop, they did stop pretty quick. They are a little noisy, but brand new bike, disc brakes, I probably got my grubby fingers all over them, so that's probably some of the cause of them being loud. Now the whole mounting system is very similar to other budget bikes that you will see. It's not so much top mount, it is side mount when it comes to the front and rear disc brake. And I'm kind of worried about that when I go to upgrade. I'm not sure if I'll be able to use this wheel set when it comes to different forks and things, you know. So I'm a little worried about that. So let's go ahead and talk about the drivetrain. Now, when it comes to that, the front shifters both are the twist shifters. And I hate twist shifters, but at this price range, what are you expecting to get, you know? So the shifters are Revo shifters, which I'm not crazy about. The only thing I kind of like about it is the left side. While you are looking to change your front derailleur, you can kind of decide where it's placed, you know what I mean? So it's not so much a set spot where it goes, and there's not a lot of tuning for that. The tuning is pretty much done with your left hand while you're riding. So it is easier to shift like that, and just by your hearing, if you have good hearing. Gearing is a 24 to 42 tooth, so this thing is probably really going to suck when it comes to climbing. And I think this is the perfect bike to maybe even switch to an 8-speed in the future, because the rear cassette. Now the rear cassette is a 14 to 28. There's no room for anything in there. It goes 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 28. So this is a 3x7. and it's probably gonna be really rough on them trails. I guess an upside that a lot of people don't like about the Genesis Velocity that we got, this one here actually has a hanger on the derailleur. It's not built into the frame, so if it does break off or bend, we can just replace it, or at least what it looks like. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all watching Wolf Tick videos. Hopefully, you learned something out of this bike. If you're looking at buying it, maybe this helped you out with making a decision. Like I said, we'll be taking this bike out and doing a real-time review on it. If you guys are interested in that or any of our other bikes that we've shown, or you don't know what I'm even talking about, make sure you subscribe, hit that notifications button, and check out those other videos, and be on the lookout for this video and more to come. And again, all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. Have a good one this weekend. We appreciate y'all watching. But I'm going to probably look at tuning this guy in so I can take it out this weekend.